Wow. Do you know what? That new intro don't give me enough time to get it shared out where I need to share it out. But quickly, bosh, done. Right, that's on your timeline, Nigel, now as well. Right, okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Proper Football Podcast Live. And we got a big one again this week. We got 5 of us on, and we're going to crack on rather sharpishly because we've got an awful lot to cover tonight and some really good topics. Now, just want to remind everybody before we go around the table, just remind everyone that you please get involved. Particularly, we want some comments on some of the subjects we're going to be discussing tonight. We want to get your feedback on that and your feelings. So whatever you're watching us on, please ensure that you get involved. If you're not watching it live, then please don't. We won't see it. But let's go around the table. Let's start with Alan. How are you and how you doing? And
all good, guys.
Mate, there.
I am sorry. You're going to see me sloping off like this because I got fish and chips in front of me. So it is what it is. It's that time of night. So, yeah, I'm good. Looking forward to hopefully see Cardiff try to get 3 points tonight, but we'll touch on that a little later.
We'll touch on that in a little while, absolutely. Nigel, how are you? How's your week been?
Yeah, I had a great weekend, mate. Both DJing and watching a bit of footy. So, yeah, it's been good.
Excellent. Tom, how are you? Are you? Well, no, let me. Tom, are you happy with your side's win over your biggest, bitterest rivals, the Posh?
Honestly, mate, I'm on top of the world. Yeah, what a result! I think it was our biggest result there since 1985, obviously, which was a fair while before I was born. So, yeah, to see it, in my lifetime was brilliant. Yeah. We were brilliant. Best performance of the season, best performance of the decade from us, I think. We were fantastic. So, yeah, just 4-0.
Well, another very underrated local derby, that one, I think. But anyway, Darren, you've joined us. You've not been with us for a couple of weeks. You look like you've caught the sun.
It's the wallpaper.
Yeah.
You've caught the sun, Darren. You have, mate. You're looking a touch sunburn on the face a bit there, are you?
Mate, I was up in a gantry at Ellsbury United Real Bedford on Saturday. So, yeah, I think that's partly responsible for it, mate.
Mate, when we had some wonderful weather, gentlemen. I mean, wow. I did not expect. What's that? I was going to say, was that your pussy in the background?
It was.
But we got cats on the show now.
That's why, yeah.
At least we're not in Birmingham where the rats are as big as cats, according to the news. I was there today, Birmingham, mate, and trust me, it ain't nice being there at the moment. Right, okay, we are going to crack on again. For those just joining us, please get involved. Drop a comment on whichever platform you're watching on. I'm going to open up what we're going to do tonight, and this is what's going to happen. We're going to be looking at the Championship. We are going to be looking at the Premiership tonight, but specifically the relegation area, and we've got some a debate that will go off around that, and then we'll head off probably into non-league. Well, not probably. We will head off into non-league, some cup results, and I've got some great videos of some amazing crowds. Darren, you've got a big smile on your face. Is there something going on?
It's just Alan's pussy. He's distracting me.
It's fish on the table.
Oh, don't. Let's not go there. Right, okay. Championship. Now, Alan, Cardiff, you are not looking in a great place. Let me just share my page with you guys on the Championship. Bear with one for a second. Okay, so let's start at the top, as you can see. Now, some massive games tonight. No, they ain't going to come no bigger than Leeds against Middlesbrough. Can you all see that, by the way?
Yeah.
I couldn't see it if it was about 5 times bigger. My eyes are shocked.
Yeah.
Go on.
So Nigel would come on. I'm going to leave that there. So let's just quickly go through it. So you've got Burnley up there on 84. You've got Sheffield United, who let's be honest, were deducted 3 points at the beginning of the season. They're there on 83. You've got Leeds on 82, Sunderland on 75, Middlesbrough on 60, Bristol on 60, Coventry sitting there 59, West Brom 57. Okay, let me now unshare this for the moment. I'm fine, am I? How are we doing? There we are. We're back. Right, so Nigel, what did you say at the beginning of the season?
Yes, I predict. Well, I've done an accumulator. Actually, done an accumulator, but I predicted Burnley to win the championship.
You did.
Right the way back, and I mean, I've got to be honest. I mean, I think everybody here about 8 weeks ago, you'd have said it was Leeds championship. You know, nobody could see them getting caught, but look how things have changed.
I was listening to Talk Sport earlier today, and they were talking about Leeds, and Simon Jordan was saying that you know the pressure at Leeds. They're such an enormous club that maybe the management and the players just can't cope with that pressure when it comes on as heavy as it does like now. That's because they do seem to do this quite regularly, Leeds, don't they? Do well and then bosh, they're doing a bit of a Tottenham.
It must be hard though, because like when you've got a reputation like Leeds, I mean, virtually every game they play of the season is a cup final, because these teams in the championship, they want to beat Leeds.
Yeah. I think you're right.
Yeah, definitely agree.
So Leeds play Middlesbrough tonight. If they win that, though, do you think that they can turn it? Would that be the turning point for them to push on?
Yes, it's still anybody's at the moment with the first three, 84, 83, 82. But, if they don't get the result tonight, then the boys at Sunderland are going to have the backs up, and they're going to be thinking, we could get above Leeds now. It's pretty tight out of the first four. And, Middlesbrough need to win to sort of like keep them in the playoffs.
Yeah, they do.
So,
it's going to be a great game, that. Kicks off at 8 o'clock. So we'll try and get off before then. I know, Al, we'll come to your side in a minute.
Yeah.
Darren, Tom, this year seems to be a bit more open in the championship because we tend to have a runaway leader, don't we, normally? Like last year, it was Leicester. Norwich have done it, in the past. It's been quite an open one up the top there this year, hasn't it?
Tom?
Yeah, it certainly has. It certainly has. 3 sides in there that are still well in it, absolutely well in it. And there's a good little race going on for the playoffs as well. The championship's always been an entertaining league. I've always liked watching it for the fast-paced football, whipped balls into the box. It's almost like a bit of a 90s throwback with how some of the teams play, which obviously adds to the entertainment value for me. But yeah, the race is hotting up for that one. I think Callie made a great shout with Burnley right at the start of the season. They look really, really strong. They're in top form. But all it will take is a win tonight for Leeds, and that could completely galvanise them and push them on. Yeah. Leeds is where my money would be. I think historically, and I think looking at the individuals as well, and the way that they can turn it on, I think the fan base might even just sing them home. They're phenomenal, aren't they? So that's where my money is.
Darren.
Yeah, it's a bit same again, isn't it? The teams that get relegated within the last season or two are back up the top of the championship. No real surprise. Hats off to Burnley. 12 goals conceded in the league. It's incredible, isn't it? I don't think they're getting enough plaudits.
What a stat that is,
Yeah, I don't think they're still getting enough plaudits for that, because that is just simply amazing. 12 goals in 40 games. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm with Tom. I still think Leeds are going to nick it. Sorry, Callie. Leeds and Burnley, but same old. Not very exciting for me being a QPR fan. I'm looking over my shoulder because I think we're only about 7 points.
Let's have a look at that now. Bear with one again. Let me bring this page up. Okay, so look down the bottom here. You are up in 16th. but there's only like 5 points
Even 5. See Ross
separating your Cardiff there, Alan,
Yeah,
with Barron's QPR.
yeah.
We played each other at the weekend.
That's right. Yeah. Terrible game by all accounts.
I mean, Luton's fall from grace is phenomenal, really, and poor our goal there making up the numbers. Although it's still quite open there all the way through, isn't it?
I think it's any 3 from the bottom 6 realistically myself, but.
So let me just come back on there. Right. So Al, you're obviously going to break off early because you're going to watch Preston against your Bluebirds.
Yeah.
A must win. It was a must win.
So.
Well, every game is now, isn't it?
I think since we played Derby at home, they've been must wins and disappointing. We no offense, that I thought we'd have come away from QPR on a weekend or something because they've been, they haven't fed the world a light lately. Great following, great support down there by all accounts. But both teams failed to deliver. What I've heard from it was, no offense, that again, QPR were there for the taking, and Cardiff again didn't capitalise, didn't create anything. It's going, it's getting concerning now. Now I've spoken to a few lads, and it's like, realistically, we need to get 2 wins from our remaining. Is it 4, 5, 5 fixtures? I don't think we've had 5. We've only had 5 wins in the last 5 months. So I don't see where this form now all of a sudden is going to come from. We've lacked firepower until we made that signing in January with Salek. We've run like this the last 2 seasons. We've literally scraped our way and clambered our way out from the bottom 3. If it wasn't for Reading getting deducted points last season, we would have dropped last season. So we were very fortunate with at Reading's expense last year. So personally, I think it needs to happen. I think that our chairman has sort of distanced himself from the club since the Premier League days. Vincent Tan, he hasn't been seen. I think I think we may need to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. I don't know, but it's tough. We've got West Brom left, we've got Norwich left, we've got Stoke in the mix. So we've got some tough fixtures left. We need to get. I think we need 7 points. Because you've got Derby that are picking up wins at the moment. Our arch rival Swansea done us a massive favour on the weekend by beating them. To slow them down. But
yeah, Gareth's just confirming there. You've got 5 games left. Stoke and Oxford at home are going to be massive games for you.
And I think we've got West Brom away, Norwich away, and I can't remember who it is. I know, realistically, we need 2 wins and a draw. I don't see where they're coming from with this current squad. They obviously the other one is Preston tonight.
Well, yeah, that ain't no easy game going up to Preston.
Do you know what? It's like on a day anyone can beat anyone in a championship. Like you just mentioned there, that Burnley. I mean, Cardiff scored against Burnley. I think we were the side to break their hoodoo, break their run for a number, a massive run of games without conceding. Anyone on a day can beat anyone in a championship. That's what makes it an exciting league. And the only thing that differs between promotion and relegation is your consistency. I think every side's got that quality, but Cardiff this season have been shocked.
Darren, your QPR, I mean, obviously you've got a little bit more breathing space than Cardiff, but you're still going to have to make sure you get a couple of wins under your belt, aren't you?
Yeah, we've got a big game away at Oxford United tomorrow night, who are just slightly below us. If we can pick up 3 points, it's a big if. We just might have the breathing space that we need, because all the teams are down the bottom for one particular reason. They're not very good and they're not winning many games. So if we can put a bit of daylight between the bottom 3, I'll be happy with that, and it should be enough. Just one more win, but you never know. It's the end of the season, isn't it? Funny results do happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, gonna touch on Derby with Nigel in a moment. But yeah, look at that running that Cardiff have got. Preston North End away tonight. Sheffield United away. Norwich away. Stoke, Oxford and West Brom at home. He's right what he said. You've got to use... Oh, that's a tough old run in that, isn't it?
That's what I mean. You know, we haven't. The games where we should have perhaps picked up points, like Luton at home, I was shocking, and I just think people are moaning, saying, "You know, we're in this position, we're losing game. We've been in this position all season." Do you know what I mean? The game against Luton wouldn't have been important if we hadn't lost 20 odd games prior to it. Do you know what I mean? There's no point moaning about where we are now and blaming that one result. It was such an important result because of where we are, because of real poor form all season. So it is. It's a tough one.
I'm just going to bring it up again because I just want to look where Derby is, and then Nigel, you can, because Derby are proper in the same position as Cardiff, aren't they? Yes, we're both on 41 points. So I mean, yeah, Derby not having the time of their lives, are they?
I think looking at running that Cardiff have got, I mean, like tonight is a game that they need to win because if you look at the other games, Sheffield United, Norwich, I don't think they're going to get a change out of them two. Stoke, Oxford, they're fighting for, to keep out of the relegation zone.
Yeah.
So they'll be up for it. And then, you've got West Brom, and they're sort of pretty solid at the back as well. So,
do you know what sort of running Derby have got? Or
I had a look at it. They've got not a bad running, but the key game might be the last game of the season when they play Stoke.
Right.
So, that might be looking at the tables now, it might be whoever wins stays up.
Yeah.
But again, out of the 5 games that teams got left, the one team that manages to string 2 or 3 games together, 2 or 3 wins, they're going to be the ones that.
I agree. Nigel.
And there will be one of them. I think one of that lot will actually string a run together.
Yeah,
I think. Well, Derby have recently, haven't they? They put a hell of a run together, and it got halted at Swansea, but the performances have been exceptional. Do you know what I mean?
As a former footballer, like when you're playing well, your confidence grows.
Confidence, yeah.
And if you're down the bottom, you're not going to be full of confidence playing with a team that's struggling at the bottom. But if you put that little ones together and you see yourself get out of the relegation zone, then the training's probably a lot better in the week. Everyone's looking forward to the next game. So that's the one good thing in Derby's favour, really, that they have put a little one together.
Bit of momentum, yeah.
Okay, look, just touch on Luton. I mean, Luton in the Premier League last season, to be sitting in the position they're in now is a catastrophic come down from that, isn't it? Absolutely catastrophic. And I'm not taking glee out of that, by the way.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think they've lost,
yeah.
I don't think they've sort of lost any players from last year, have they? They played quite well in the Premier, to be fair to them, until they actually went down.
They had some good games, didn't they?
So, do you question the attitude of the players this year? Having come down from the Premiership now, they're not that bothered about the Championship, or they've just not had any luck in the games. But like I said, the squad they had when they come down from the Premiership should have been good enough to stay there. Should have been good enough to be in the top.
That's a catastrophic failure, really. Okay, look, gentlemen, let me just pop this up. This is a post we put up. Now, this is going to lead me into a discussion. So this picture here.
Shocking, isn't it? Nope.
So what we've got, Southampton have been relegated over the manager. That's all happened. This is the home record of the last 8 games of Leicester City. I mean, as a fan,
they were talking about this on TalkSport today.
Yeah, it's just.
They were talking about this on TalkSport today. I think he's played. He's lost. No, I think he's won 2 games out of 17 while he's been at Leicester. And they're saying that they can't believe that the prolific goal scorer he was during his career, he can't get that team scoring goals.
Yeah.
Right. So
you look at Leicester. They earlier on in the season, they run away with the Championship last year. They were scoring goals for fun, and you just think some of those players, and they added to that squad as well. I thought I thought they would have been solid in the Premier League this year.
So
I think
this
that only
leads
goes
me.
to demonstrate, though, that only goes to demonstrate the difference in class between the Championship and the Premier
Exactly.
League.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, they had
And
Enzo Maresca in charge, didn't they? Who's doing well at Chelsea
so
now.
yeah, so
But there's
this
a big
leads
jump,
me in,
and they weren't up to it.
this leads me into the big question, and this is where I want people, if you're watching, I want your opinions, particularly if you are a supporter of EFL clubs. You know, I'd like you to get involved with this and give us your feeling on it. Is we mentioned it last week, but this week we've seen the Leicester catastrophic failure that they have. Southampton are going down with a Premier League record for being one of the worst sides in the Premier League. They've obviously shipped the manager out yesterday as well. But Ipswich likely to join them. They've had their little fun in the sun, but they look likely to join them. This is a build-up for years now of the clubs going up can't cope. Tom, you've just said it. You've agreed with it, gentlemen. So my question, and this is a question to everyone watching as well, and I'll give you my feeling as a Watford supporter. Do you want your side to go up in the Premier League and have to go through that? As a fan, now as a player, Nigel, I'm suspecting the answer is yeah. They want to have a crack at the big boys. Yeah, I get that. The clubs, yeah, because they want the money. But as a fan, seriously, I've been there. So I'll give you an example. In 2007, we beat Leeds 3-0 at the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. And we was in a pub after, we were stopping over the night. Leeds managed to get most of Cardiff shut down, but hey, we were in a hotel and we were sat around having a drink, and the general consensus was, knowing, by the way, at that time in 2014 when we went up, there was a different feel about it, and it proved to be right. But in 2007, we knew we were coming back down, and we were literally. Who's actually won today? You know, and that's how it felt.
I can touch on it because, like, when we went up for the playoffs the first time we went up, we beat Leicester, didn't we? And the euphoria of actually doing it, because it was the first time in my lifetime that we playing on a top table, and it was shocking. Do you know what I mean? We beat Man City at home in the first home game of the season. We drew away. I think we drew away Bournemouth away. We drew. Beat Man City home and the next game. I can't remember. We had a reasonable result the third game, and we pushed Man United close at home and for the fall. But after that, Malky Mackay, we had the fittest squad I've ever seen, but he just seemed to be setting us out not to lose. Cal, you can relate to this. We never, like, for example, we played Tottenham at home, and we didn't get out of our half. We weren't even trying to get out. There was more emphasis on trying to stop Tottenham scoring, that we weren't even taking chances ourselves. So I remember when Keegan was here, and they'd go balls out, and it'd be, I don't care if we concede 3 goals, we're going to score 4. Now I'd rather watch my side concede a hatful of goals, but at least try to do something, rather than this nonsense where you're being set out trying not to lose, trying to just salvage a point from the first minute. Do you know what I mean? It's not enjoyable. Do you know what I mean?
In light of what Tom said a little while ago. Reference highlights the difference between the Premier League and the Championship. If you haven't got a billionaire owner come in and buy your club, I don't think any club anymore has got the chance to go up. And I think we're going to see a lot more of the Leicester story. And I just want to bring it back up because I want people to join in with this, because I genuinely think we're getting to a point where fans may not want their club to go up, and that's got to be madness, and it's got to be bad for football.
I think you're looking at
so bad.
I think you're looking at a point now where we're talking about the gap between the Championship and the Premier. I mean, if you go up from the Championship these days now, you've virtually got to overhaul your team. You've got to buy 9 new players, because there's probably 2 out of that squad that are good enough to play in the Premier League at a high standard. So, the club's got to have enough money to be investing about 9 players. And the truth is, half of them clubs don't want to be investing in players or haven't got the money to do that. And that's how big the gap is.
Yeah. Let's just look at these results. Now, this is what Leicester fans have had to put up with in the last 8 games at home. 3-0, they lost to Wolves. 2-0 Man City, probably a good result, actually. 2-0 Crystal Palace. 2-0 Fulham. 2-0 Arsenal. 4-0 Brentford. 3-0 Man United. And then last night, 3-0 Newcastle. And they reckon Leicester weren't even in the game at all last night. But, I mean, that's what the Leicester fans have had to go through this season. And so the question is, and I'm going to pass it over to all you guys now, especially, like, I know you've sort of already answered now, Alan, but Darren, your QPR, maybe a bit different. It'd be interesting to see what Tom's feeling is, because he's in a club that maybe hasn't tasted that yet. Would you want your club? I wouldn't want my club to go in the Premier League. I just don't want to go up and be cannon fodder. Darren, QPR, I mean, if they were pushing Premier League, would you want them to go up?
Me
without a billionaire or a country owning you?
No. I'm lucky enough, old enough, ugly enough to have seen us be in the Premier League for quite a while, especially, when we as founder members. If you're a dreamer and you think it could be us that make a difference, there's nothing wrong with that. But me personally, no, we'll be cannon fodder every week. And I'm of the opinion, actually, that Premier is meant to mean the best, isn't it? There's far too many teams in the Premier League for my liking. I would be radical, and I would cut that league in half, because you've got so many teams that just drift, deadwood. They're not going to go up. They're not going to go down. They're just happy to survive. I'd be radical. I'd cut it. So I mean, less games. You might have to play a team 3 times a season. So let's say Manchester City played Arsenal as their 3rd game at home. Man U away, a bit like what they do in the Champions League. But it's just, who cares? To be honest with you, who really cares about all these deadwood teams except for the supporters themselves? The Premier League certainly don't. The Premier League don't. So you might as well just say, cut the bullshit, cut the league, and then you've got better players to go around a thinner pool, you see. So everyone will benefit.
So I'm going to throw this at you then.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll come to Tom, because I'd like to get Tom's opinion, a supporter of a club that have not tasted Premier League football or Championship football, come with that. But hey,
cheers for that. Thank you very much.
Right. Sorry. People, get involved, please. Come on. Let's see your comments on this. I really would like to get a feel for are we at a stage now where, as fans, we don't want to be cannon fodder week in, week out by going up? Do you just want to stay in the Championship or where you are and enjoy what you can? That's what I need to know. So please get involved. But I'm going to throw this at you. Do you think now, on reflection, would have been good for that European Super League to have gone ahead?
I'm not commenting on that.
I think
I made a 40 on the t-shirt on that.
I think it's inevitable it's going to happen. How soon it happens, who knows? But
do you think that for English football, it could bring the competition that we are lacking because of the domination of the big clubs? And what are teams fighting for now? Because it's great this season with the FA Cup, seeing sides that have not been there in a long time. That's fantastic this year, and it's a breath of fresh air. But normally it's same old, same old. But do you think it could be positive for English football to have the Super League in place and the top?
I don't know if that is the answer.
Go away.
I don't know if that's the answer, but I'd certainly like to see some financial fair play rules that actually have a bit of meaning to them. You look like Man City had something like 130 odd charges over them, and it seems to have gone very quiet. You haven't seen a point deduction there. So I'd like to see something where maybe there's, I won't say a wage cap, but perhaps, there's no British talent in the Premier League anymore. Very, very little. Do you know what I mean? It's, you look at Man City, what have they got? 3 English players? Are they the best, probably one of the best teams in. Well, they are one of the best teams in the world, isn't it, at the moment? But they don't seem to be your best English or Welsh players tend to end up championship level at best. You know what I mean? So maybe we need to start looking at something like that and saying, well, you've got to have a limit. You've got to be able to nurture and bring.
We used to have limits. At one time, wasn't it? You could only have 3 foreign players in the squad, wasn't it?
They haven't got 3 English now.
No, I know. Nigel, can you remember that, Darren? There was a time when you had a limited amount of.
I think that was an overseas rule, and other countries did implement it. Like Italy in the 80s, it was actually a two foreigner rule. But the Premier League, obviously, we was allowed to have like players from Republic of Ireland, weren't we?
Yeah.
There's always a workaround, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Right, guys, I've got to dip out. So
no, okay. Well, good luck tonight. I know you need the win
luck.
Desperately. I'll be keeping an eye on that for you, mate. Good luck. Thanks for coming on.
See you soon, guys.
Cheers,
see you later, guys.
Thank you, mate. Not good luck tonight.
I think it's hard with this. When you said about a breakaway league, I mean, who's going to decide who the top 5 are in England? Because there'll be a few clubs thinking, we must be in the top 5, and we've got the fan base. And I totally agree with you about, do fans really want to go up? If the team goes up, while the team wants the money they're going to get, but not only that, the price of going to a football match in the Premier League is a lot more than Championship. So again, you're going to ask your supporters to pay more money to go to a game that you're not going to win.
It's a good point. But do you know what? Leicester have announced, or I see a thing from Leicester tonight, that they're doing early bird sales of their season tickets. And if you purchase a ticket before 5 o'clock, season ticket for next season in the Championship, because that's where they're going. If you purchase an early bird season ticket by 5 o'clock tomorrow, they'll freeze the price. So they're going to put their season ticket prices up for a relegated side who have absolutely been destroyed this year.
So they're going to freeze it for. So they're going to
freeze it for early bird. So they're not going to put the price up for early bird.
Thumbs up football. Like they get relegated. I mean, I think they dodged a bullet anyway, didn't they, with this financial fair play? Because I believe that they overspent or did something with it, but because they were in the Championship last season, they can say, "Oh, it doesn't apply," even though it's a 3-year countback. Relegated.
Well, obviously, people, please, if you want to get involved, what are your feelings? Are we in a position now, or are you with your club in a position now where going up into the Premier League is not as desirable as maybe it would have been years ago? Because you're just going to go up there and week in, week out, get hammered. Please let us know. Please put in the comments on whatever platform you're watching on. Hello, Liam Goff. But yeah, let us know what you think, people. So coming over to you then, Tom. Obviously, a fan of a club that hasn't reached any dizzy heights. Sorry, I'm talking cobblers, aren't I? No, seriously. Oh dear. Listen, you had your day in the sun with beating Peterborough. Look, just to mention that again to make you feel better.
Thank you.
How do you react to this question?
I struggle to find the relevance in it for me, to be honest, being a fan of Northampton Town. But I think if I look amongst the majority of fans, I would expect that a majority of fans would still want to go up into the Premier League. There are still some live and kicking examples of teams that have gone up and not been there before and managed to consolidate. The likes of Brentford and Bournemouth being 2 really good examples of that. I think Fulham are having a blinding season as well. They're up in sort of 7th or 8th place or wherever they are now. So I think it is doable, and I think there are still examples. Don't get me wrong, there are less and less examples now than what we used to see, but it is still doable. When you've got to be there, you've got to have a dream, and you've got to be there in order to do it. I think Southampton have been abysmal. I think that goes without saying. They chopped and changed their manager through the season. Leicester changed their manager through the season. And I think that's a huge problem. I think the promoted sides are expecting to be able to go up, play the same way that they did in the tier below with a similar squad and be able to compete. So I think Alan said, he doesn't want his team to go out and not get beat or play to not get beat. I prefer personally to see a manager that will go, look at what he's got, look at the opposition and say, am I going to get expansive football out of this squad against a Manchester City, against an Arsenal? Are we going to play these teams at their own game and beat them? The answer to that question, as we've seen, is no. Leicester got rid of Steve Cooper and brought in Van Nistelrooy. Why on earth they did that, I do not know. That was just, Van Nistelrooy is just a name. He's not a proven manager at the top level. They've gone and got him because of his name. They had a good, solid English manager who knows how to set up a team to get results in the Premier League. I think he only won 3 out of 15 games up to November, which, okay, that's not a very good record. But if you don't give managers time, the summer up to November is not enough time to build something and consolidate. How can they expect? I think
they got carried away with the 4 or 5 games he had in charge at Man United when he was caretaker. They seem to play well in them 3 or 4 games that he had.
He did quite well.
And I think
the players at his disposal there, you've got a Bruno Fernandes. You've got a Bruno Fernandes, for example, in your squad, and they've got a good centre off Martinez there. They've got good players at Man United, and I believe once
they've not really done that well since he's gone, though, have they?
No, what I'm saying is
neither with Leicester, where he's the manager.
Yeah, but Leicester got carried away. It's nothing to do with Van Nistelrooy. Leicester got carried away with these 4 games at Man United. They decided to sign him. So if he's not up to it, it's not really his fault. Because Leicester were the ones that just went on 4 games at Man United.
No, I'm not saying it's his fault, and that was a point I made. Leicester went and got rid of Steve Cooper, and then went and signed Van Nistelrooy for his name. There's not enough. I don't think it was for the name. I think it was for them 4 games that he had at Man United, because everyone was saying how Man United were playing since he took over, and I think the Leicester got carried away with it. I don't think it was anything to do with his name. I think you're right.
I think
we all know about this, boy. We all know
they had a solid manager. They had a solid English manager who knows how to get results in the Premier League. And got rid of it.
I don't believe he would have got the results myself anyway if he'd have stayed.
Maybe not. Well, we'll never know now, will we?
We'll never know, but I can't see it. It's an interesting comment from you, and I was waiting to ask that of you, and I do believe, and I do strong. Hang on, please. A top Arsenal supporter, can I post my group link below? Yeah, go for it, mate. Just so I can get more. Well, if you've got a link, you can put what you want on your comments, mate. You crack on. And the reason was I believe that there's a like Darren was saying earlier, he's old enough to remember QPR being up there, and I've seen Watford up there 3 times. 2 of the times we were just cannon fodder. I think that's the difference between the fan bases that have been up there and not enjoyed it. And I think if you look at a lot of them clubs, the fans will go, I don't want another season up there. Because why would you want to go and watch your team get annihilated week in, week out? And then you've got the fan base, as in like you, Tom, clubs. It would be a dream come true for Northampton or anyone of that ilk to get up there. And I get that. And you know what? For the fans, that first season, win or lose, just going around all the different grounds is great, and you have a cracking first season. But once you've done it once, you just don't want it anymore. And I think that's what I wanted the view, and that's great because I think like I say, there are fans that have not been there that would love to get there, and they deserve to get there. It would be great. I don't think any of them will get there because I think it will become quite elitist in the Championship a bit as well, where your sides will yo-yo. There'll be 6 or 7 sides that will just keep going up and down, up and down.
Well, that's pretty much where we already are, is it not?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. The competition's gone out of English football.
In the top 2 tiers, yes, and it's spreading further and further down the pyramid.
It is, and the problem is, like say for Northampton, you get into the Championship, again, I guess you're going to go in the Championship knowing damn well you ain't going up because the Championship
the likely. Historically, we've always been a yo-yo club between sort of the third and fourth tier.
Yeah.
So to be able to consolidate what we have, we're in a fantastic position as far as I'm concerned. But even you look at the Championship now, the teams down the bottom, Plymouth are going to be in League One again next season. And whenever they're in League One, we know what they do. They go there and smash it.
Right. I'm getting it now. I'm getting what you're saying. So we're talking about this being a problem with the Premier League and the Championship. It's going to roll all the way down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So what you're saying is
it's been happening between the Championship and League One for a good few years now. Plymouth, Rotherham, Derby, Coventry. Obviously, Coventry are doing a lot better now, to be fair. But those have been a few staples that have just sort of yo-yoed between the two. Bolton, another one.
Bolton have struggled though, realistically, haven't they?
Huddersfield are there now. They're another one.
Like Birmingham, they've come down and
they're going straight back up though, aren't they? The only difference in there at the minute is Wrexham because of the money, and Stockport again because of the money.
Stockport are not a club though that have yo-yoed.
No. The only reason there's difference in that top tier at the minute is because there's two clubs that have come from lower and have got more money to be able to compete.
That's interesting. Where's Stockport's money coming from? Anyone know? I didn't really. I mean,
They've shot up from the National League into League 2, piddled League 2, and now they're sort of just outside the place in League 1.
Right. So this problem with the money side of things. I mean, we're talking about. Tom's exactly right. We're talking about it happening in League 1, League 2, but we was talking about this last week about Merthyr, weren't we? If they go up 2 leagues and they got the money behind them to, obviously they've got to buy better players. As the further you progress, the better players you've got to get. With all the foreign top players that are coming into the Premiership, some of the players that were good enough for the Premier haven't dropped down to the Championship. Then they take the place of somebody that the Championship is probably got dropped down to League 1. You know, it's just like an escalator going down.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good thing. I can run this into some other subjects now. So I was at Corn on Saturday. Obviously, just won their league by canter. And knowing that they're going to go into Northern Premier or Southern Premier, I look at that club and they are going to have to do something different to compete, I think, going up. They're quite a small club, got a lovely little setup. Don't get the biggest gates in the world, but they had 580 there on Saturday because I had the presentation you know, they're actually only one of 2, I think, village sides that are going to be in Step 3, as high as Step 3, and the other one's Farsley Celtic. They're a village side, Corner a village side, so that straight away gives them some level of limitation. And whilst they've got the most amazing chairman, they are a community-owned club. So I'd like to see them do well. And obviously, I've got an article coming out, hopefully tomorrow night, but I'm a bit behind. It might be Thursday now. But what I will do quickly, and there's something really funny, Darren, you'll like this as well, I think, because you've been to Rugby Town. They played Rugby Town anyway. But before we do that, let me just show you the moment they lifted the trophy. Yeah, the right last minute, the geezer run behind the photographer.
That's proper non-league, that is, isn't it? Yeah. That's proper non-league. The trophy on a little pull-out fold table.
Yeah.
That.
It's like a
That's brilliant.
George and Mildred, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy who gave Matthew or Mark, he is actually one of the Northern Premier League's people. And I made contact with him on Saturday, and some very good contact actually to have. But that was him. But here now, the thing is, now I'm going to show you a picture, right? Now, not one of my pictures, by the way, but this is. Oh no! What? I haven't uploaded it. I've got to upload it quickly, Jim. I've got to show you. So you've got to understand, right? They're playing Rugby Town. And I think they may have got themselves a little bit confused about whether they were playing Rugby Town or were they playing rugby. Just give me a second. I've got to get this picture up. Oh, come on.
Rugby Town would be a good place to do one of your little articles.
Yeah, I was talking to them.
Yeah, amazing ground, honestly, for step 4. Yeah.
Ah, here we are. Right, just let that upload. So, and I've got to say, when I show you this wasn't given as a penalty. This is in the penalty area. Now, this is Corn goalkeeper getting confused that they were playing rugby, yeah? He's literally playing rugby, mate.
He's had him there, isn't he?
Tackled him. That's the keeper. And to be fair, that's quite funny. But on a serious note, so he's literally rugby tackled the guy, the goalkeeper. But on a serious note, Rugby Town are fighting relegation. They got a 1-1 draw on Saturday, which for them, and they battled like hell. But that would have made it 2-1. So that for Rugby Town is a really bad decision, like really bad. But you'd have thought a ref would have picked up on that, a goalkeeper holding someone's leg, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You would.
I'd say so.
You? I mean, he wasn't a mug ref. He didn't seem to be a mug ref, and they got the linesman there. But no, good trip. Interesting little club, and I look forward to getting the article out as soon as I can. So, Darren, where were you on Saturday? You was off somewhere, weren't you?
Yeah, Aylesbury, Real Bedford. Prior to the match, Aylesbury had lost 17 games in a row. Real Bedford won 5 out of the last 6 and were 9 points clear. The game went the way everybody expected it to, 4-1 to Real Bedford. But Aylesbury, considering you'd have thought they had zero confidence, it was a bit of a free hit for them, and they played quite well. Sure, Real Bedford did deserve to win, but it wasn't a landslide like we all thought it would be. Real Bedford now this Saturday only need a point at home to Kings Langley to win the league, and their rise continues until they merge with Bedford Town. If they do.
Oh, mate, yeah, saga goes on and on. We're desperately running out of time, so I'm going to be rather sharp and quick here. Dan had popped down to Redhill. He went in a pub, and guess what? It was full of Jersey supporters that had come over, and in the ground there was even more. He's got an article out at the minute. What a brilliant support from Jersey! Massive game because both clubs are on the same points at the top there, and it was a draw. And they play each other again in Jersey on Saturday. Funny enough, but yeah, they had a fantastic support out there, and it's really really good. I've got to quickly do this one. So the chap in the middle, you may have heard this story already, but the chap in the middle is American. What it is, this is a funny story, man. So he went to get on an Uber boat, right? and I've been on these before. So football fans, they rent a boat, don't they? And it's like full of football fans renting a boat, getting drunk and having a party, right? They're brilliant, by the way. Brilliant. Anyway, this American thought he was in the queue for the Uber boat. He's got on the boat thinking he's just on one of these taxi boats, and he's not. He's on the Southend United supporters. And he spotted him, right? Sat in the corner, befriended him, He's then eventually up singing and dancing with them all. They give him a ticket for the game, take him off to Sutton for the game because they went flies on the ferry, got the train down to Sutton. Now he's and he's come out and said he's never felt for a football club like that, and now he's a lifelong Shrimp supporter, and he's going to be at the game Saturday as well. I just
wow,
up. Yeah,
that's
he's
quality.
man in the middle. He's the American. And he just got
I'd heard the story, but I didn't know he was going to a game again. Another game.
Yeah,
That's brilliant.
yeah. From
That's
what I've heard, he is. Yeah. They befriended him and looked after him by the sounds of it and all, which is fantastic.
Fast story.
Right. Okay. Quickly on this one as well. I think I mentioned it. This is National League South. We know it's a ding dong there, as you can see. 3 points in the top 5. Truro on Saturday went to Worthing and won because obviously Worthing were top. They beat Worthing Saturday, an unbelievable away win that really for them. It's such an important game. Obviously, still got Dorking there in the mix, Eastbourne and Torquay. Big clubs there, isn't there, guys? When you think about it.
Yeah,
Torquay massive, yeah. Dorking, obviously, they were in the National League last season, weren't they? And they're in the mix again.
That's a heck of a tight league. Darren, you were mentioning National League North being quite tight there and all in it. How many teams are up for it?
Yeah, there's the top 3. 1 point separates them. Scunthorpe on 81 points.
Of course, yeah.
Kidderminster on 80. Brackley Town on 80.
That leads me to something I wanted to bring up. Now, the other day, in all fairness, Scunthorpe had over 8,000 for one of the games. Phenomenal. But I just want to show people some of the support that these clubs get and what it means to these supporters in the lower regions. Now, we had the FA Vase and the FA Trophy. Let me just show you. I'm going to start with the FA Trophy. So we had 2 games. We had Spennymoor against Rochdale. Obviously, Rochdale, big boys in non-league now. But Spennymoor are going to make history. They're going to be the only non-league club to have played. I don't know whether they won it, but they played in the FA Vase final, and now they've knocked Rochdale out, and they're now in the FA Trophy, and the only club to ever do it, be in both finals. So fair play to Spennymoor. And with that, let me just show you the reaction. But what I want you to do is just the whole crowd, like from the Rochdale fans, and just shows you the support that non-league football's now getting. So that was the Spennymoor fans celebrating their 95th minute equaliser, and they went on to win the penalty shootout. And but that ground, Rochdale's grounds, obviously League One standard, probably would be capable of going into the Championship, was rammed, to the rafters. Fantastic support. And in the other semi-final, and this is just take this atmosphere in when I show you this video. So Woking were playing down at Aldershot. Aldershot have taken the glory and are going to Wembley for the first time in their history. But just look at this atmosphere. So this is at Aldershot, and we start with the away end with the Woking fans. Just watch this. Isn't it great? That's brilliant. That's just that. I mean, even as a player at top level, Nigel, what an atmosphere that was, eh? Oh, hang on, mate. Hang on.
Sorry,
mate. Yeah.
Dog was barking. I had to mute it. I mean, it's the closeness of the fans on the pitch. You know, getting a good atmosphere in a smaller ground. It always sounds really loud, but yeah, brilliant. Just shows you, it's not the level you play at. It's the team that you support, isn't it?
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's absolutely fantastic. Sorry, I'm rushing through, gentlemen. So then we moved to the FA Vars, where I haven't got any footage, but AFC Wheatsheaf have got through beating, or is it Whitstable? Who won? Whitstable or Wheatsheaf?
Whiteleaf, isn't it?
Remember now? I ain't got no footage of that one, unfortunately.
Whitstable beat Hartbury University, I think it was.
Oh, right. No, my apologies. Sorry, I do know what I'm doing here, by the way, even though it don't look like it. It might not look like it. But no, what it is, it's getting dark in here. Even though I've got the background makes it look like it's light. I've run out of light. Sorry. Wheatsheaf beat Andover to reach the final. And
Whiteleaf, Gaz.
Whiteleaf. Oh dear. See, I don't know what I'm doing. And Whitstable beat Hartbury University. But I do have some footage of some of the crazy goings on that they celebrated with at the end of the game. And this is the players, by the way. Now, with a Wembley final coming up, and I was his manager, I would be proper pissed with him doing that, I think. Because that looked very, very dangerous.
I love it.
You just your body surfing.
Just pure passion, isn't it? Just pure passion. It just obviously, emotions running high and all that.
He's going to Wembley.
Yeah, it's absolutely brilliant. It's brilliant. No, but that highlights non-league really. And just the last one from me, then we'll have to do a round table, I'm afraid. Just quickly, as we were saying about Merthyr, they lost Saturday. Massive game, Taunton against Tottenham tonight, which obviously levels up that's their game in hand. So if they lose tonight, that's probably Merthyr got a good chance of winning that. If they win, they're only 3 points behind Merthyr, so that's looking really interesting as well. Okay, gentlemen, I'm going to give you the opportunity to bring up or talk about anything you want. Before I do that, let's just make sure Liam. Okay, yeah, bear with me. Stephen Puckin, evening, guys. What's happened at Leeds United? Stephen, we've already talked about it, I'm afraid, my friend. Preston just had a goal disallowed. That was at 5-8. Oh, dear. Saw that with Southend. Brilliant. Nigel, see you on Mixcloud tonight.
Yeah.
Stephen. Gentlemen, I'm going to go round. Darren, anything you'd like to bring up, discuss, or just say goodbye?
I'll just say goodbye. Need to walk the dog.
Same here.
Yeah, it sounds like your dog's arse stinging up. Tom, you are going to Saturday. Where are you going?
I'm going to Leicester St Andrews on Saturday. They're a good, solid Step 6 side. They are guaranteed a playoff spot in the Midland Football League Division 1. So they stand a really good chance of going up. They're playing a team in the bottom 3. So this hopefully is only going to consolidate their position in the playoffs. Looks like a good little setup. Gentleman Brett, the chairman that I'm dealing with there, has talks really highly of the club as to people in the local area.
Lovely.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting up there and seeing what it's all about.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing it as well when you do the article, mate. Yeah, that'd be brilliant. I'm not going anywhere. Darren, are you anywhere Saturday, by the way?
Possibly Harbour Town v St Ives.
You mentioned, yeah. And what's this? Have a great week off. Have a great week, all. Sorry, this is Gareth Williams. Thanks for your input, Gareth. Badges on its way. Got us.
You've been saying that for the last 3-4 weeks, ain't you? Poor fella.
Bloody nightmare, poor
Poor
Gareth.
fella. He's on every week, he is.
Off to Cardiff Stoke
Right.
Saturday. Massive game. Nigel, over to you.
Let me just tell you now, right? Leeds have gone 1-0 up.
They've gone
Leeds have
1-0
gone
up.
1-0 up. Yeah, against Middlesbrough after 5 minutes. Cardiff 1 down as well.
Yeah.
I'll be on Mixcloud later on as per usual.
Oh yeah, Gareth just popped it on, Nillet.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah,
on.
so
I'll be on
can make Mixcloud later on.
And have a good week, chaps, and hope the results go our way tonight.
There's some massive games there tonight, especially in the EFL. Obviously, I think we got an Arsenal man been on tonight, haven't we? They've got a massive game against Madrid. Any ideas? What do you reckon? Madrid, Arsenal. You reckon Arsenal could overcome them or not? Let's quickly go round the table on that, and then I'm going to finish. Darren, do you think Arsenal can beat Madrid?
I don't care. I don't like
Don't care. Tom, can Arsenal?
Yes. I do think they can. I think the last time they met was in 2006 when Arsenal went all the way to the final, and Arsenal won that over 2 legs. But they've got the players, they've got the squad to do that. But yeah, Madrid, top
Nigel?
side, aren't they?
I think it'll be a draw. I think Madrid is pretty solid this year.
Yeah. Okay.
They got game changers.
Peter, you've enjoyed it. I actually would still like you to put comments on about the question.
Here's one before I go off.
Yeah, go on.
Sheffield United 0, Millwall 1.
See, Millwall's still in with an outside chance of getting in the playoffs.
That's
an interesting result.
Sheffield United at home as well.
Yeah, Millwall still can make the playoffs. So, but look, people still drop comments on our social medias, reference that question. Are we now at the stage where fans, particularly those, I think, in fairness with what Tom has said, those experienced Premier League, those haven't. They deserve to experience it before making this sort of comment. But are we at the stage where you don't want your side to go up and be a battering ram? And are we at the stage now where we know that that's probable outcome of promotion? Let us know what you think about your club. Anyway, that would be great if you could put the comments on and let me know. Other than that, as always, please have a safe week. I believe we've got great weather still, and I believe it's going to get even better again at this weekend. So enjoy your football, gentlemen. I'm going to enjoy lazing in the garden this week because the missus is off and I owe her some time. So I'm being a good husband. Right, so be safe. Tom. Be safe, everyone. Have a lovely week. Enjoy the sun. And gentlemen, thank you very much for tonight. And we'll all catch up again at some point next week, I guess. Okay, that's it. As always, never ready. Let's get ready and we're off.